hell yeah.
We're live, baby.
Is this... Don't we want it... Can you put it back to the YouTube?
Oh, yeah, for sure. The YouTube.
Oh, yeah. We got 4 playbacks. We got 0 in the chat, boys. 0 in the chat.
Oh, I can't sit down with my tail.
Oh. I can't see with...
Can't see.
Special Halloween episode.
Hello, hello. And welcome to the Who Invited Will Season 3, Episode 4, Halloween Extravaganza. I'm Yoshi, and this is my host, El Luchador.
Hey!
What's up, guys? So we got a little food here. I'm going to be eating during this episode. That's another Halloween surprise for y'all. You get to hear me chew. How spooky does that sound? How do we sound on the headphones, Will? We sounding good, buddy?
Oh, yeah. We're sounding... Actually, yeah, actually pretty good. Pretty good.
Pretty good? You want to get on some chicken strips, Will?
Might give me some tenders.
Want some tendies? Got it. Shouts to the tendies.
Oh, yeah, that came through. Yeah, you got to talk into it a little
Shouts to the tendies.
Those are some crispy
We got
boys.
some ketchup. We got some ketchup here.
Is it marinara?
No, it's ketchup.
Oh, wow.
But it's basically, they just chop the chicken parmesan up, so it's super good.
We'll do one of these.
Yeah, for sure. Cheers. Oh, come on. You gotta get the separation, Will. Oh,
Did you ever see that movie?
No.
Oof.
What movie?
It's called...
Hold on.
It's either A Separation or The Separation. It's a Middle Eastern family. I don't know what...
Boom.
I don't know what country they're in, but basically he has a senile dad that they're taking care of. And what happens with the wife? Something happens with the wife where she just becomes unhappy and leaves the guy and her kid.
Oh, they
And
changed
it's-
the fries. Anyway.
It's all about their relationship, and then they get a caregiver, and pretty interesting. I liked it a lot. It got a lot of awards.
Is that your recommendation for our first segment? Food, fun, films, and fortune. What is it?
Film, food, and fortune.
Yeah, so
Hello, cool. Hit the like button. Yeah, Chandra. Hi. Yeah, Mom.
Dad, Jenny Trainer is Will's mom. Jenny, Chandra Misra is my dad. You guys are our audience right now, so thanks for the continual support. Will's mom, Jay's dad.
I don't know. Well, now it says 0 for everyone, so I don't know exactly who's watching or not, but if you guys
You know
are
why?
on...
Because YouTube's controlled by the big tech cabal, Dad, and they don't want small creators like us to succeed.
Controlled by Meta. Did you see that today?
No.
You didn't? You see that? Facebook changed its name to Meta.
Oh, that's so lame.
And then actually shout out Chris
That's
Gropp.
so meta.
Shout out Chris Gropp. I saw he had a Facebook post and it said, "Why didn't he change his name to Facebook World Peace?" And I laughed so hard. That's such a good joke.
That's a nasty line by him.
That's a nasty line
Shouts
by
to
him.
Chris Gropp, hilarious guy.
Yeah.
Hilarious improv comic in the Denver scene for everybody who's an improv fan out there listening.
We actually gained a lot of improv followers after our last drunk driver, drunk parents, kids.
Oh
Improv
yeah,
scene.
I heard that really.
A lot of
made
people
waves in the
just
scene.
it blew
huge
up.
waves.
It blew up.
Yeah,
So yeah, I don't
we're not improv comics technically, but we're kind of jacks
We
of
dabble.
all trades. Yeah, we dabble. It's like that Spider-Man meme where he's like, "I'm kind of an improv comedian myself."
the scientist.
It's
What's
like
his name? William Dafoe.
Yeah. Love that one. And
Love
he's just
it.
smiling like maniacally. Yeah, so they want to be trending in. They want to be in the trending metaverse. Oh yeah, that's what my dad was telling me. Is that like, their metaverse is like, it's
Oh,
like
yeah,
a
metaverse,
Bitcoin.
yeah.
I got some napkins for you
Oh,
there,
yeah.
bud. If you want to wipe them on your jeans. I'm such a napkin fanatic because of my friend Piera. Rest in peace. But oh yeah, don't say her name. But she's too famous. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so, but no, yeah, the like metaverse. I'm not sure what metaverse is exactly, but it's like some crypto related like I guess basically it's like it's not like it has a whole universe of apps in it. It's like they want to instead of Facebook being like one website, it's like a kingdom of sites or something. Is that what you understood?
I just saw the headlines and basically it said that it's like the metaverse is gonna be the new internet, or that's how they see it. So yeah, that would make sense to what you're saying as well. Like it's a whole separate platform. They do a whole different thing. Actually, I watched some documentary, or not a documentary. There was some, what was it? Entrepreneur. No, it's called Startup. It was it was decent.
You want some of this white pizza?
Not yet. No,
right.
Thanks.
It's called Startup.
Startup, and it goes back and forth. It's like a Miami people, and like the dad was kind of doing some shady stuff, and then the son gets involved, and he figures out that like if the only way out of it is if he like creates a company and blah blah blah, and then he finds a super smart woman, and she creates like a dark web 2.0, and they start selling a bunch of drugs on it.
It's a documentary?
No, it's not a documentary.
Okay.
I said that to begin with, and it's definitely
Oh, okay. I was like, dang, dude.
No.
Who would consent to get filmed? Like,
exactly.
Like, yeah, you want to film me breaking every internet law at one time?
Yeah. Or just every law in general. Like, they're like selling hitmen and drugs and all this stuff. So
people from other countries.
It was kind of interesting because there was like a Haitian involved as well. He was living in Miami, and then he starts selling, like he was one of the first adopters to sell drugs on it, and then it kind of blew up from there, and it was fine. It got a little hokey at the end.
So wait, this is what Facebook is going to become? Just some like lawless It already is. Yeah, you can buy drugs and people and kill people.
Yeah,
like the
Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah,
it's
it's wild over there. It's crazy that like Facebook. I mean, I was ranting about Facebook with my coworker today, but it's just like, it's crazy that they've done so much messed up stuff and they've taken like zero accountability for it. Like people like live streaming like mass murders and stuff, and they're just like, cool, yeah. I mean, we're connecting people, and you're like, are you enabling like the worst possible people to spread content? It just feels like, I don't know. Of course, they're not going to take accountability because that would just like make the company tank, because if they had to actually pay to moderate all that content.
I mean, it's such a slippery slope. Like, where you basically have to be all or nothing. You have to just say, no, anything that you use our services for are 100% your liability, blah, 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 blah. Because then all of a sudden, I don't know. You would think there needs to be some kind of oversight, and I think that's kind of what all those... when they went to Congress, that was what all that was about, right? Like privacy and what they're actually doing, like what Facebook's doing. And he's like, I drink water.
Yeah, it's the mic stand, exactly. But the funniest thing is, like, the Congress is so inept. Like, it was like those memes where you see like Mark Zuckerberg's there in Congress question, and it's like, how do I open my email inbox? How do I sign into my email? I'm not here to do tech support for your iPhone, man.
I can't remember, what was it? There was some. Actually, I didn't even know the term, but then I guess maybe I'm getting into a boomer, but like it was some. Never mind. I'm not going to remember it, and it's not going to be a great story.
Don't worry, Neil's not here to make fun of you and be like, whoa, good story,
We're supportive of each other during this episode.
Doesn't this feel so relaxed and nice? Like, what is different about today? Something just feels
I feel rejuvenated.
I can spread out, like, I can put my beats on the table.
I can man spread. It feels great.
Neil, what is Neil doing?
Neil's at a work event. He played golf today, sent me about a million videos of him saying it would really suck to work today. I'm playing golf today. And then he just repeated that for about 5 minutes in every video.
Is he playing golf? Or I thought he was working.
He's at a work golf event.
Oh, so that was like his funny joke?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And then he doesn't ever know when to stop, so it just kept going and going. And like the first one was good. So yeah.
The first time I heard that joke, it was funny. The 57th, not as much.
Ooh, that was a good movie. I was thinking about The Separation. So I already mentioned that. The one that was along those lines, I can't remember. It was on Netflix. Scarlett Johansson, Adam Driver. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I know. I kind of like it was like the
divorce
marriage
the marriage.
The marriage. Okay.
The marriage. Oh, it was
that
great.
Good? I didn't see it.
It's very good. I don't know. Very depressing though. I mean, probably very realistic. I've never been through divorce.
Hopefully
Don't want
not,
to.
but yeah.
Yeah. So, how about you? What kind of recipe do you have for us this week?
So today I have some homemade. I actually brought the recipe. This is homemade cacio e pepe pizza. It's a little bit of Parmesan. You got some green garnish on here. So it's basically pepper and cream. I think that's the name of the pizza. Really, really good from me. No, it's from a place called North Italia, which I'll shout out because it's upside down. But yeah, North Italia is awesome. Then here's a little life hack for North Italia. You order the kids' chicken tenders.
Boom.
You basically get a full chicken Parmesan just without the cheese and the sauce, which costs $20 otherwise.
Boom.
And you get fries.
Boom.
And you get a delicious lemonade, which is really sweet for some reason today, but still delicious.
Whose hair is that?
I don't know. Oh, God. There's a hair on my lemonade. DoorDash.
And it was like blonde hair, so no one that we know.
God, let's just put it on the floor. Another life hack is if you complain to DoorDash through the automated system, they just immediately give you money back. They don't like vet to see, but if you do it too much, I think they start lowering the amount.
And you
Not
should
that
just
I know
karma.
A friend told me that.
And you should just do it.
Well, I complain when something's really wrong. Like
No, for sure.
Every
No,
third
that's
DoorDash
fine.
order is wrong.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's nothing wrong with complaining when
Where's
it's
my
legit.
drink and all the food I ordered? Why did I get stuff I didn't order? Like, I'm like, well, I'm not gonna pay for this. I'll eat it, I guess, because I have it now. But
I want, What did you ever see that movie? I'm gonna stop with the movies. Do the right thing though.
Oh, my
Spike
sister
Lee.
bought me a DVD of that. Shouts to
Yeah.
Paxton.
Shout out.
And shout out. And yeah, Paxton bought a copy of that, and I still haven't seen it. So I'm sorry,
Okay.
Paxton. I will watch it, but I haven't seen it. But I've heard nothing but good things.
It's different. It's different for sure. The three. So your dad's saying that then it's a metaverse in a 3D virtual world that you can explore online. It sounds like Roblox for adults.
It sounds like gonna go out of business. It's like, what is it, Minecraft?
Minecraft is like so popular. Well, I mean, that's very popular.
But Facebook's never gonna be. Facebook
No.
Metaverse is gonna, or Meta. So basically, Facebook.com, they changed the website or no?
Supposedly they're yes, it's like complete rebranding.
I think this might be time for me to delete my account.
Yeah,
Do you
I
feel
agree.
like that too?
Yeah,
I'm not about this life. I'm not about the meta.
yeah.
Like Zuckerberg, Facebook. I mean, look. I literally feel like I should just put a post that's like, hey, if you want my contact info, like DM me and I'll send you my phone number.
I've seen people do that before.
Instagram, I still
Yeah.
have, I guess, which is still Facebook, but still. Is Instagram going to be Metagram or some shit, or are they leaving Instagram be?
I think that's kind of separate entity, but I mean they are all owned.
Yeah.
It's weird. I don't know. I don't want to get zucked. I'll just put it that way.
Look, Zuck is a cock. No, I'm just kidding.
You might be.
No, Zuck. I hated the Social Network. I was just like, what a like. They made it about like, oh, he broke up with some girl and that's why he had to be a billionaire. No, he had to be a billionaire because he's greedy. And also, yeah, she was totally made up in the movie. But whatever. I guess we wanted to talk about. We could do some scary stories. I mean, I'm enjoying just chatting though. But we can always like. If you have a scary story, we could always jump in. It is the Halloween spooky episode.
Do you have one? I have a story, but I kind of don't remember all of it.
Nice, perfect.
So yeah, it's gonna be like I'm a really good storyteller from what all my friends have told me. So I'll go ahead and start. You ready, sir?
Yeah, let's hear it.
Are you ready, audience? Does that
right into the
acronym
mic.
mean anything? Titus?
Oh, she said bomb, like bomb.
Bomb.
Oh, we got 6 viewers. Wow, when Neil's gone, we get the most viewers ever. 6
Whoop, whoop.
concurrent. I don't care if it's people on the same device. Watch us on your phone and your laptop and your TV. Your
Hit that
smart TV.
like.
Literally stream us on every platform at once. Just mute the other ones. We just need the streams, guys. Think about it. They can't tell.
If we eat, you eat. Come on.
Yeah, look, man. This is how it works. Yoshi eats, you eat. All right.
Okay, so I got a story for you.
Scary story.
This is a real
Wait.
story, though.
Let me do the intro.
Man, he has a keyboard that has all the effects on
It's spooky stories with Who Invited Will. and our first story will be told by... flap, flap, flap. Will the luchador...
Oh, we could turn that light off, right?
Oh, yeah,
I forgot
we
about that
usually
one.
do.
Yeah. Okay, so this is a story...
All about how my life got turned upside down, and I'd like to take a minute to just sit right there and tell me how you became the prince of a town called Bel Air.
So, not that story. This is about, so I grew up in Southwest Colorado.
Ooh.
Look, do you see the amount of viewers that we got left after that little segment? I'm kidding. Okay, so.
Sorry.
Sorry.
For being creative.
So, I grew up in Southwest Colorado, and I lived right next to the Southern Ute Indian tribe.
Ooh,
reservation.
Spooky Indians. No, I'm just kidding.
But there is a thing within the, like, well, I don't know. I think it's all maybe just like Native Americans in general, because I think it was maybe like Navajos have them as well. But they're skinwalkers. Have you ever heard of skinwalkers?
Yeah, I've heard of skinwalkers. They're scary, actually.
So it's basically like a spirit that can kind of take the form, mainly they take the forms of like dogs, like almost rabid dogs, but it doesn't look like it. So this is how the story starts. My sister, one of her friends was like driving down this road in the middle of the night, pitch dark, right? In the super dark, they're driving and they see some like lights in front of them. And I mean, growing up in the country, you just know it's some kind of wildlife, so you just slow down.
Oh,
So
like
then you
two
don't get
eyes?
hit. Yes,
Like see the reflection from the eyes? Yeah.
So they start to slow down. As they get closer, what they see, it looks like it's a man just bent over on all fours with just like a coyote or dog or like wolf pelt on top of him, and he's all dirty, no other clothes on, and he's just in the road. And so they're like, what is this? This is insane. Like, so they slow down enough, but then it's looking at them, so then they like swerve around it and start taking off. The thing starts running next to them, so it's behind them. It starts running fast enough to catch up to them, and then it starts running beside their car.
Really?
And at this part, they're like, "What is going on? Like, this is exactly."
That's what I'd be doing.
Yeah.
Oh my
so
God!
they gun it, and then the thing just like it just kind of like runs off the road and then like into the dark, and like, what was that? That was the most insane thing ever. And so
most animals don't run next to cars.
No, yeah, exactly.
They're terrified of cars,
Yes.
and they run away from cars.
Yeah, and if you see, like, it looked like a man, so just running on all fours.
Did they get a good look at it when it
Yeah.
was next to the car?
Yeah.
What did the face look like? Ooh, I got the chills.
Yeah, like it looked like the face was kind of like it had the like
muzzle or the
no. It was like a person with the like a pelt over it, so you couldn't really like they could see the eyes. But then the rest of it was like dirty and dark, so they couldn't really see like facial features. But it was humanoid and enough. It looked like a person running. So they get home.
Did it make any noise?
Well, their windows were up. I don't know. They didn't say any noise. Yeah. Cardio for days, brother. So they get home. They go and tell their parents. They're like, "That was so scary. I don't know what the heck happened."
And he ran next to the car.
And so the next day, you know, they're kind of still in shock from it. Blah 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 blah. It gets to the following night, and they're out there, and they see. So they're just at their place, and so the kid had to go out to get some firewood for their fire. They have a log fire.
Fireplace, yeah.
Goes out, grabs a bundle of wood, looks up, and there's just this tree. I don't know. It's 20 yards away, but it's like a tree, but it's like this gnarly old tree that he's never seen before. And he's like, well, I mean, what?
Yeah, what's this tree doing
What's this tree doing here? That was never there before.
He should have said, hey, make like a tree and leave.
No. So then he's like, that's weird, bends down, grabs some more wood, looks up again, the tree's like half the distance. And he's like, what the fuck is that? So at that point, he's like, no, I'm getting out of here. So he drops the wood and then just starts taking off towards the house. And like when he turns around again, it's like next to the wood pile. And so at this point, they're like, there is something so wrong with this. This was just one of my sister's friends.
Oh, okay. But wait, do you think that it was just trying to protect the firewood, like it didn't want to get burned?
Like, no, not my kids. Maybe I don't know.
How dare you burn my wooden children? Right?
Yeah, I mean possibly.
Doing the Vincent Price.
I like it. So what they ended up doing is
holy F. Yeah, I know. Holy F, indeed.
So at this point, they're like, there is enough of that weird stuff happening that like I don't want anything to do with this. So they ended up calling up basically the reservation.
They're like, guys, what the fuck?
Yeah, then they got in touch with like a medicine man.
And he's like, oh yeah, that's Steve the Skinwalker. Oh yeah, he fucks with us too. The tree thing, that really creeps you out.
Yeah. So the medicine man comes out and he's like, oh yeah. He starts smudging, right? Because the smudging,
cleanses the area.
Yeah, cleanses, and it's like, yeah, there's definitely something going on here.
Smudge stick.
There's something going on here, and there's definitely like a spirit, and it's attached to you, and it's just going to get worse. So we need to find out how it's attached to you. And so they're like, what do you mean? Like, what do you mean it's attached? And he's like, well, they usually leave behind, like, a token like they usually leave a physical something behind within like part of your property, and that is how they attach. So what we need to do is like go through everything and figure out where it is.
What's not yours.
Yes. So they like go in the car, they're looking, can't find
the car because they're like, oh, you probably put something on the car when we were running.
Yeah. And they don't know. So they go back. They start going through like all of her clothes and stuff, and they find like this old blanket that she hadn't used in like a super long time. And it sounds so crazy, but there was like in the bottom corner, in the corner of this blanket, there was like something stitched into the blanket. And when they cut it open,
wait, where was the blanket?
It was just in her room.
In her bedroom?
Yeah.
Oh my God. So it must have been there.
Yeah.
It must have been in her room.
And so they like cut it open, and there's like...
How did they know to cut it open?
Well, because the medicine man knew. He's like, that's not supposed to be there. Like they knew that was out of place. So
wait,
they
she
cut
didn't
this
own the
patch.
blanket?
She owned the blanket, but on the old blanket that she had, there was like a patch in the corner of it that was like stitched into it.
And she didn't stitch it in. It was just
she
like
didn't stitch it.
So the medicine man's like, wait a second.
That's it. Yeah. So they cut it open. There's like fur. There's like mice bones.
Maybe a mouse died in the blanket.
Well, and then there's like a feather.
Maybe the mouse
ate a bird before.
Yeah, it was a flying mouse.
And so I don't know.
Freaky. It was just a bunch of dead stuff.
Yes, and it was like in this little patch. So they removed that. And then the medicine man did like another ceremony, and then that was like, then it kind of went away and nothing else ever happened. But then like to this day, her friend just like refuses to drive down that road. And it's supposedly there's been like multiple sightings on this one stretch of highway. And so like kind of as kids, that's what you do. You like go out and drive your car at midnight to see if you see something.
Dude. Walk down the road.
Walk it.
That's what you want to really.
With the skinwalker.
You go up to that. You pull your car over and go up to that thing and you go, hell yeah, brother.
Yeah, I'm good.
Wow, that freaked me out. I don't know. What did you think, listeners? Maybe in the chat. Do you think that was a scary story? I thought it was pretty scary myself. I don't know if the story I have. This is actually one that my friend told me. My friend Mitch. Shouts to Mitch. I hope you don't mind me telling this story, but you're not here to
Detroit
tell it.
Mitch?
No, not Detroit Mitch. This is Indiana Mitch.
Okay.
Yeah, Indiana Mitch. So, hell yeah, brother. Hell yeah, Paxton. You go up right to that there skinwalker and you go, hell yeah, brother. So, no, I believe in that stuff. Because how come the medicine man knew all that stuff?
Exactly.
He's like, oh, there's a patch in your blanket. Like, okay, sure. And then the tree, a tree getting close, that would be so freaky. You look, it's like a cartoon.
Yeah,
where the guy's in the bush, and then you look up, and the bush is closer, and you look up, and you're like, I don't want to know what happens when that bush gets here.
Exactly.
It's a terrifying
and then it's
tree.
like, I don't know, and that's the thing. Like, if someone were to say, "Oh, there was a skinwalker standing there," and gets closer and closer, like, who's gonna make up a tree?
Exactly. That's
like, what the that. That's the part that freaked me out too. I'm like,
it's so
what?
random, and it's just something you would never think because it sounds so absurd.
Yeah.
Like, it sounds cartoonish, like
Yeah.
the potted plant thing with the cartoon when they're sneaking around, and the guy keeps looking, that plant move?
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, it's not cartoonish at all when you're, like, gathering wood alone outside and a fucking tree is approaching you every time you move your eye. You're like, okay, I swear to God, I've never seen that tree before.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's nuts. And, I mean, having it run beside you, like, how fast is it?
Well, because they were hauling it, like, they were trying to get away from it, so that, you know, they were going, like, 40, 50
And
miles an hour. It was just, like, keeping up with them, like, full stride, a human on all four, like, a human-type thing on all fours.
Oh, I thought it was running on 2 feet. It was on
No,
all four.
like, it runs like a wolf. Or like a dog.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
More ghost stories, please. All right, I have one that my friend Mitch told me. So this one is, thanks for, it was scary. So this one was interesting. Basically, my friend told me, you know, he grew up in like a small town in Indiana, right? And so, like, there's not much to do. And so, like, you know, when they were teenagers, like high school kids, they would, like, sneak out and just try to, like, go in abandoned buildings.
Yeah.
Right, and so, like, you know, it's scary, it's abandoned, but also it's kind of like when you're with your friends, you're just sort of like, oh, you do it. You
sure,
like,
yeah.
Juice each
ante,
other up. You
yeah.
kind of, like, pump each other up. So I guess basically what there was this, like, abandoned kind of complex. It was, like, this old complex, like, 70s or something, or, like, you know, hadn't been used since, like, the 70s or something like that. And, like, it just was kind of like a hospital, but I guess, like, the rumor was it was an old mental hospital, right?
Of course.
So they all... Yes. I believe that. I don't know. Maybe he made this story up, but it's a pretty good story anyway. So he goes to the, like.
Well, they are. I mean, there is. I don't know. Like, a lot of people say that there isn't, like, trauma associated with stuff, but I kind of think so. Like, hospital or mental hospital, there's a lot of bad things that have happened there.
Right. But he didn't know for sure. Like, he didn't know for sure it was a mental hospital.
Yeah.
They were just,
but
like,
just kind of
they just knew it was, like, a medical. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, but, you know, some stuff made them think it was. So they all go, and it's like a compound. So even to get to the building, you got to walk, like, you know, quarter mile in or something, right? Like, it's kind of like up a long driveway, and there's, like, a few buildings maybe. So they go in, and of course, like, they're walking around, and they're kind of just, like, there, and they're, like, kind of walking around, and then they split up. They're like, okay, we can't figure out how to get in. So, like, you guys go around that side, we'll go around this side, and we'll, like, figure out if we can, like, find a way in. So him and, like, one of his other buddies, let's say there's, like, 4 or 5 of them or something, him and one of his other buddies, like, split up. They walk to the other side of the building. And then, like, as they're walking, they hear, like, their friends coming around the corner, like, ahead of them, right? And they're like, oh, they fucking, like, you know, they lapped the building and couldn't find anything. Sure. Then they walk around the corner, and they don't see anybody. Or no, they jump in. No, they didn't think it was their friend. Sorry. They thought it was a security guy. So they jump into the bush to be like, oh shit, someone's coming, and, like, turn their, like, flashlights on.
Okay.
They have them. And then they look around. Nobody comes there. They look around, and, like, they basically, like, where did those footsteps come from? I don't know. Maybe it was just, like, our footsteps echoing or something. And so, like, they look and they thought, oh, this is our friends. No, it's not them. And so I guess the friends had found a way in, like, through the basement. And so there's, like, a basement. Oof. So they decide, you know what, we'll crawl through a window.
Oof.
They all get in through the basement. I don't remember all the details of this part, but they, like, spent a little time wandering around. The basement, they were, like, was just full of, like, a bunch of stuff, like, old stuff. And so eventually they're on, like, the second floor or whatever. And they all kind of met up and they got in. So they're on the second floor, and he was like, at this point we didn't really know what this was, but we, like, walk into a room, and it's, like, a medical room. And so we're like, oh, shit, this was, like, an old hospital. And, you know, there's, like, it's kind of freaky and whatever. And they spend, like, time wandering. Nothing really that weird happens. Obviously, they get kind of freaked out because they're seeing, like, old medical chairs and just thinking of, like, who is in these chairs.
It's all dark and run down, yeah.
So eventually they're like, all right, you know, that was weird. The footsteps outside, but there was no security. I think there's, like, nobody here. It's, like, totally abandoned. So, like, why don't we go? So they walk back down to the basement, right? And they are about to leave. So they walk down to the basement, right? And they're, like, kind of freaked out because they're like, yeah, this is, like, some old weird hospital. And as they're, like, walking back to go through that window, they see there's another door. And so they're like, oh, shit, I wonder, like, what's in that door, right? And then it's, like, kind of leading down through stairs. It's like an open kind of doorway, and there's stairs.
Okay.
So, of course, they're like, oh, fuck, like, should we go? Should we do it? I don't know. You do it, right? And so I think they had like flashlights or whatever, right? So they're like flashlights on, and they're like, should we go down? Yeah, let's go down. And so they go into the room, and they walk down the stairs, and my friend was last, right? He's like, I was last, so I know like what I saw, right? He's last. He walks in, and he's like, it's cells.
Like jail cells?
Like cells where you keep people.
Uh-huh.
That were like apparently it's an old mental hospital. Apparently they were like keeping people in the basement.
Jesus.
And so he's like, they walk in and they start realizing they're like jail cells, and he's like seeing all of his friends ahead of them just like scared shitless, like, oh my god, this is so fucked. Like we're in some basement like dungeon, right? So they're all like, they walk to the end, and then they're just kind of like, let's get out of here. They turn around to walk out, and there's a chair in front of the door they just came from. Like just sitting there, no one in it, but there's just a chair that's unfolded, like a folding chair that like I guess was against the wall, and it's unfolded open, and it's directly in the path they just walked. So at that point, he's just like, we're getting the fuck out of here. Exactly. And they just like scrambled out and just like ran. They were like, we were so fucking scared. Because like, he's like, I was last to go in. I know there was no chair there. I saw everyone, and I looked around the whole room. And then we're all like in there, like kind of processing what we're seeing. We turn, and there's just a chair.
So then, did they run out the same way?
I think, yeah, they went out the same way, but like they just went, because they were in the basement already, so they just like went out through one of the windows and just
okay, Jesus.
Got freaked out. Isn't that freaky?
That's not great.
So yeah, like he's like, I heard those footsteps. I don't know if it was my echo or we just scared ourselves, but then I like the chair. I know that happened, dude. He's like, I know that it happened.
It would be fun to mess with people, but also...
Sorry, Joyce. This is my friend. I got to get my friend to tell the story. He was there. He knows all the details.
Hey, thanks for the comment, Joyce. Like and
thanks for watching. Love you, Joyce.
Yeah, there's some stuff. Well, it actually got me thinking, because then the other thing that I was thinking that we could discuss, like, I thought it was interesting that we brought up the, like, communism last time, or like different concepts, and I don't know if Neil would necessarily follow along.
Socialism?
Yeah,
I'm from Texas. We don't have socialism down there. We got steaks.
We got guns.
We got pickup trucks. We don't got socialism. You don't have pickup trucks in the Communist Republic. I love how Neil doesn't have an accent at all, but he's from Texas, so in my head, that's how he talks.
I know, it's so funny that he doesn't. One thing I was thinking, though, is, like, it'd be maybe interesting to, like, cover different, maybe even if it's a religion or a different, like, government style or, like, a psychological term.
Yeah, It'd be good to discuss like some kind of politics thing that's going on,
or politics. Yeah, well, because then it was like, and this is Joyce saying about the details. Then this is also going to come off a little bit like I'm not necessarily prepared. But I read some recent on Reddit. There's a subreddit called "Explain Like I'm 5," and
what does that mean?
It means you take like these complex ideas and then break it down into something simple so that a 5-year-old could understand.
Right.
So this one was like, explain the is it Nietzsche? Nietzsche,
yeah.
Nietzsche, the whole, like, if you stare into the abyss long enough, it'll stare back. And so I was reading all this stuff, and it got me thinking about like what you were saying about this, like almost how whenever you like sometimes if you seek out evil, you're gonna find evil.
I totally believe that.
And so
that, like, if you are like trying to like seance, or you're trying to like find demons, you'll start seeing that stuff because like it either gets into your subconscious, or it's like part of the universe reflecting back energy that you're putting out. Or
well, wasn't that like that whole, remember you're telling that story about the Ouija board? And,
I was just thinking about that guy. Yeah, another story I don't remember the details of, but
but you told that one on here.
Oh yeah, and Neil kept interrupting it, and he was just like,
well, no,
you said there were 2 people.
Yeah, but yeah, so it's like
the Ouija board.
I like that, or because then that's basically what they were saying, or that's how they explain like 5. It's like, you can like the deeper you get into. So I even think the same thing with like some conspiracy theories, or like, there's lizard people, and then there's everyone's a pedophile and all this stuff. And so then it's almost like if you're thinking of that and that's all you're searching, and then you get deeper and deeper into this rabbit hole, then it just becomes like it engulfs you, and then you lose. And I've seen people say that on threads too. They're like, oh, I went way too hard into this stuff and my mental health suffered because of it. And so, yeah, I like that idea. And so I guess Nietzsche had a different saying to like go along with, like, that's the thing that people always hear. But then it's like, you should see the abyss as like cold water, a cold bath. You can get in and get out. So you can experience it, but it should just be that. It should be an experience and not something that you immerse yourself into, because eventually those negative things are going to kind of wear off on you.
No, I agree. I mean, I agree with that. I think it's even in ways we probably don't even perceive consciously that happens. I mean, probably a lot of it is subconscious. But, like, I totally think that's kind of how I see it, too, is, like, if you, like, and that's the, that actually, I used to listen to this podcast, Mysterious Universe. I kind of stopped because there are these two Australian guys, but the one guy went like hard right wing and was just communists are destroying the world and China's the evil, because I don't know, like maybe Australia I think is a lot closer to China
for sure.
So
there's a lot more
Have,
influence
feelings about it. I don't really know much. I'm probably speaking in ignorance, but anyway, on Mysterious Universe they were saying the same thing about like people who had like demonic experiences or black helicopters or like the stuff that like maybe schizophrenic people talk about. Yeah, they were kind of saying like, the investigators who look into these people's claims, they're like, I don't know what it is, but like the moment I started looking into this person's claims, I started having weird stuff happen. Phone ringing at the night, no one's there. Electricity cuts out, rattling in my house. I start hearing people walking around in the attic, or maybe it's animals. They say it's squirrels, but I just like, the culmination of all these things started happening. And so they were just like, yeah, I don't know what it is, but the moment I like started looking into this stuff, it started getting weird for me personally, and I just decided not to pursue it anymore because I just didn't. It wasn't good for my like mental health. Yeah. It wasn't good for like me. Maybe it's just like the suggestion, like the power of suggestion.
For sure. But, well, and I think and that's kind of a very interesting part of that is it, because then it's like almost your society, right? Like I know a lot of people that then they do the same thing, or I fit into that. Like I don't like watching the news because I feel like most of the news is about all the bad things that are happening. Who died? Some person got kidnapped, like all this stuff, and it's
today
not like
in Kansas City, shooter kills 3 children on a school bus, and you're like, I don't want to know about that, even though I care. Like it's not like I don't care. It's just like, and I mean, it's can't affect it. It just negatively I'm taking in negativity.
And it's not like hide your head in the sand and everything is okay, but it's also what you expose yourself to, and it's the environment that you're in, because like it's only in Western cultures where schizophrenia,
the voices in your
head, are negative,
and so I hear that because of that, the voices are more negative.
But
they're perceived negatively by society, and so the schizophrenics report hearing much more negative voices.
Yes, and then they like in like Africa, they're like tribes see that as like a gift, or
other societies have another way of looking at it. They're eccentric, they're eccentric, or they're
and then the voices turn out to then not be malicious, right? And it's not go kill your mom. It's
kill your parents. It's not that. It's more like
make them a gift card. A nice little drawing. I'd like that.
Love your parents. Just like voice in your head. I love you, Mom. The voices told me to say that. They're just like, all right.
Yeah. Wouldn't that also be pretty creepy though? Imagine your kid comes up. He's like, the voices in my head told me that I love you.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know why the little kid stuff is so scary in movies, but like when the little kids are like,
because it's like innocence, man. It's something about just
they're not lying because they wouldn't be crafty enough to like try to deceive the world. Yeah, maybe they are, but like, or some of them, or think like that. But I think like those stories where the kids like, it's like, where did you learn about the house? How'd you know there was a secret compartment here? The man told me. The man told me in my room. And you're like, what man? And they're like, he comes at night and tells me stuff. And you're like, okay, we're moving. We're moving now. Call the realtor. You know what I mean? Like, because I would just
burn it down.
I wouldn't be like, in movies, you always get those people who are so skeptical that I guess they just can't accept that something might exist. They
Neil
don't know.
Schneider.
No, it's ridiculous. We're staying in this house. We are not leaving. And
You know how much the down payment I put down?
yeah, the cabinets are like opening and closing. Doors are sliding across the room. He's like, it's fine. It'll calm down in a few minutes. Just close it or it's the wind. Yeah, no, I wouldn't be that person. My movie would be 2 minutes long. They'd be like, something happened. We're moving. Yeah. We're moving now.
Well, that's always like that. Yeah, well, yeah, I agree. A lot of that stuff. And that's why I don't actually like scary movies. Like, I love movies, but I really don't like scary movies because of that. I usually immerse myself into movies. So then that's why I enjoy them so much.
Oh, I get so scared.
But then I also just get, like, really scared. I'm like, this is not
I'm
good
scared now. I'm, like, ready for some goblin to burst into the door. Neil bursts in. That would be hilarious if he did that to scare us. If he literally came all this way to just
scare us. Like he comes in Kool-Aid Man.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, well, in Islam they say that too. They say that like they call them jinn. Like basically everything like that is just jinn.
Yeah.
And like they say the jinn don't really have any power at all. Like God is the only, in the whole Islamic worldview, Allah, God, whatever you want to call it, the eternal being is like the only thing that has true power. So those jinn and demons and whatever, they only have the power you give them. So if you believe that they have power over you and you give them that, you feed into them and you give them like that power mentally, that's how they can fuck with you. But if you don't, if you just basically say, I know you have no power over me, you jinn, get out of here, they will realize you know the truth, which is they don't have power. They just have like illusion.
And I wonder how much of that, like, I mean, I guess
it kind of goes with the Nietzsche thing, I guess.
I've never had any like supernatural experience or something that I felt like there was a spirit there or anything like that. So, but then like I also like, just because it hasn't happened doesn't mean that it can't, and that I don't like, it hasn't happened to me, so it's hard for me to believe in it. But I also think like a lot of that stuff, like religion in general, can sometimes like it. How I understand it, or it at least makes sense to me, that like religion is there to explain things to people and put it in a way to comfort, right?
To situate their relationship to like eternity and the cosmos.
Yes, because like, everyone's going to be scared of dying, and it feels a lot better to think that like I'm going to go to heaven after this or whatever. But then it's like,
or just like to know that your life is not meaningless.
Well, exactly.
Right.
But then to me, it's weird because I don't necessarily... Well, so wait. First, what I was going to say is I think it's... so, like, you were saying the jinn, like, they only take over if you let them. Exactly, but then there's, like, a saying that it's you can or you can't. Both are true. Have you heard that? Or that's basically what it is.
You can or you can't. Both are true?
Yeah. So, like...
No, I haven't heard that.
If you think you can or if you think you can't, both are true. So it's like all your frame of reference. So it's like...
My dad is a big believer in that. So he would always be like, don't say can't when we were growing up.
Yeah.
And so he'd be like, you can. Like, don't say you can't. You don't want to or whatever, but don't say I can't.
Because
I remember that, Dad. I just haven't thought that for years. Love you, Dad. That was good advice.
Frame of thinking, and I could say that that's the same thing. It's like these negative thoughts, and people could see those as spirits, but that could also just be your own like subconscious seeing that, and you're putting your own spin. And it's like you can kind of will what you want into existence.
Yeah,
somewhat, right?
Of course, like we're talking about this type of stuff that Neil's not here because like we're the ones who just go off into like
on his phone.
Yeah, he's sitting here distracted. We love you, Neil, but yeah, Neil's not like Will and I will just talk about like trippy, abstract things like this. So I guess that's what this episode's about. But like, it kind of goes back to the power of the subconscious mind, where it's like, even if whether it's a demon in real life or it's your subconscious, both are like your lived reality.
Exactly.
So like,
just because I've heard that before too. It's like just because it happens in your brain doesn't mean it's not real.
And also
it's
like
very real for you.
Have you heard like the placebo effect stuff where people will be told like you've been given a miracle cure for cancer, and then the cancer literally goes away, and then they're told like it's a placebo, and then the cancer like comes back. Like those stories are documented.
Or that
it's not everybody who experiences that, but there's a percentage of people out there whose subconscious is so powerful over their body even that they could like change their physical reality.
That I've heard that about placebos too, that then even when you know it's a placebo, something that, like you're like, oh, I'm taking something, they tell the people it's a sugar pill, and still it can work. And it's like not all the time, but the
it's
power of the mind is
statistically
insane.
significant.
Yes.
Like it's not all the time, but it's enough that it's been proven to be statistically significant that the placebo effect is real.
Yeah.
Which is, again, maybe some of the studies are flawed or whatever, but I tend to believe in that stuff because you kind of see it. Like, I mean, you see it in sports where you see people in the zone, like the whole being in the zone idea, flow state.
Flow state, yeah.
And people try to describe it, and I feel like the descriptions don't always match. But it's one of those things where it's like you kind of know it when you feel it. Like, I'll tell you, this is a scary story, but
and then my mom said if we get too scared, just surround yourself in white light. So
yeah,
I agree with that.
Why's it gotta be white light? No, I'm just kidding. And then my dad said dark entities are looking to control people. He's like, why they gotta be dark entities?
Racist.
That's what I was thinking. Why the entities gotta be dark? Like 90s comedy. Like, black people and white people are different. Why are women weird? Just like, oh my god. But yeah, no.
Wait, you have a story?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember it. So yeah, I remember. This is like the lamest. It's not supernatural. It's probably just like I'm not a good athlete. But like when I was trying out for basketball, like my freshman year in college, like I was just not gonna make it. Like I was not in good shape. Running was like brutal. But we would do this drill called bitches. That's what they called them. So. Sorry listeners who are offended, but bitches are basically you run across the gym from like sideline to side, or like baseline to baseline, so the whole length of the basketball court, and you do like one, and then you do like one, which is one length, and you do 1, 2, 3, and then you do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you go up to like 7, 9. And then you do like double 9, so you'll do 9 twice, and you get like a 30-second break.
Curran, sorry, real quick. Curran, Neil is at a golf tournament for his company, and he's at a dinner now. Joyce, go black light.
We should get a black light. That's a good idea. We should have
I
had
don't think
one.
that's what she meant by that.
But under a black light, everything looks white. You see? Yeah, blue
stains.
Go stains. You see?
Okay, so you're running. You're running.
Oh yeah, so bitches, right? So we would run one length, and then 1, 2, 3, and then so by the time you get up to like 9, and you only get like a 30-second break in between, you're like completely dead, and you have to run like
more
7, 6. Yeah. You go back down. 7, 5, 3, 1, and so like I was running and I was completely dead, but like all of a sudden there was like this point. Which might sound silly, but like it was probably going back down at like 3 or something like that, where like, and I was not the fastest runner, and like, it was like I just in my head, like for some reason I was running and I like couldn't feel my like legs, which maybe that's not a good thing, but in my head I just thought, oh, I can't feel my legs. I could just like will my legs to move faster, and I willed myself to run. And I finished like an entire basketball court length ahead of everybody. And it was like at the end of it. So people were just like, what the fuck's happening?
Like this sandbagger?
Yeah, exactly. But there was one guy on the team who saw me hit that like, oh, I can run as fast as I want. Because like I hit this like crazy second
that's
win.
Such a funny like just a image of you just like running and then you're just like faster legs and just like
yeah, that was literally what it was exactly like a cartoon where it was like, and then there was one guy who was like, he saw that happen. He saw the whole thing because he was on like the sideline. His group, because you run one group at a time.
Yeah.
And so he was like, "No, save it!" Like he was yelling at me, "Don't waste it! Like save it!" And then I like, of course, burned out. And then the last like 2, I ran like slower almost than anyone because I don't know where I got that energy reserve, but I just like burned through it and I finished like a whole lap ahead instead of like smartly just like running a little bit ahead because I was just like couldn't believe it was happening. And then I asked him after, I'm like, you saw what happened? He's like, dude, it's happened to me before. Like, I knew what you went through. Like, that's why I was telling you to save it, dude. Because, like, when that happens, like, you have that energy, but you burn through it quickly. And so he knew exactly.
Interesting.
He saw me go through that, like, where my mind just, like, overcame. It was like mind over matter. My mind just, like, overcame my tiredness and just willed myself to run. And I was running, like, fucking fast.
Well,
like, these are all athletes. These are all, like, like D3, but still college basketball athletes. And so, like, I outran all of them at like the end of it. I didn't make the team, but you know what I mean. That one moment was like almost worth it. I was like, wow, that's crazy that I experienced like mind over matter and that to that degree.
I think there's a lot of that. There's like this idea of like kinetic meditation as well, where it might be the same thing. Like you're getting yourself into a flow state or altered state of consciousness.
It felt like an altered state of mind
because it's something about like your body moving
brought on by extreme tiredness.
Yeah,
extreme exhaustion. Where I was tired at like 9 and we were at 7:05.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, the human body is an amazing thing. Like what you can put it through, but then also
you ever seen Instagram? You know what I'm talking about.
How fragile it can also be. Like you can just like trip and break your head.
Or like the thing that makes me worried is like you get like a aneurysm and just like die or something. Like,
there's a lot there.
Shouts to aneurysm. I hope that doesn't happen. That's the scariest story I've told this entire time. Those 2 sentences.
Exactly.
Like, my hands are.
That's real.
Yeah, that's real scary.
Yeah. Well, I guess we have a little bit more time left. Neil, even though he's not here, sent us in, and Neil's got issues.
One flew by.
That's because it flies by when you're having fun. Hopefully, it was good for. I feel like we were having a good time. Hopefully, everyone else was enjoying the conversation.
Well, I hope that, we got to experience something on this podcast we've never had before on the show, which is chemistry. No, I'm just kidding. It's awesome when Neil's here. We make fun of each other. That's the whole thing. If you guys didn't realize, that's the joke.
And then, well, I guess the only other thing that I wanted to talk about like that, those like even deities, or because you also brought that up, like I brought it up. Yeah, that idea that there is something out there. To me, it almost sounds counterintuitive, but it feels better to like think that there's nothing after this, and that this is like the world is chaos and like all this stuff is happening and there isn't really rhyme or reason to a lot
and
of stuff.
There aren't consequences too, because I think that's
I don't know. I feel
one way or the
that's
other.
Hard. Maybe I don't know. I
don't think it's
maybe
about that?
I'm a hypocritical there, because then I definitely am a very, very strong believer in like consequences to your actions, and I don't think people get where they are in lives without choices that they make along the way. Mm-hmm. And maybe a lot of this is coming from a higher power or spirits like helping guide you through this stuff. But then to me, it's also nice to think that then if there isn't anything after this, if there isn't this heaven, of course it sounds great. But if there isn't, then it's like, then it really is, this time on earth is like all we have, and then you really do got to make the most of it. And then 50,000 years, shoot, I mean, 1,000 years from now, 200 years from now, anything that I did is not really going to matter. It's going to be a whole new set of people doing a whole separate thing. And so to me, it's liberating.
Yeah, no, I understand that. I mean, I believe in like an afterlife and stuff, but also, I don't know, I guess in a way it's comforting to me to think that like what I do has some eternal significance, but I don't think it has eternal significance to like the people who are going to live here. Maybe just for like my own spiritual fate or something. Yeah. Like to think that doing good is not just like what you feel here.
That's also what I don't like that, or I don't prescribe to, because I think that some people are like that. I'm going to do this because of what I'm going to get in the afterlife. Oh, I'm going to give all my money now, or I'm going to do these nice things. And it's not you're not doing a nice thing to do a nice thing. It's like, no, I'm just like depositing it's for heaven.
It's like phony kind of.
Yeah.
No, I agree with that. Yeah.
It's like at the end of the day, it's like the YouTuber taking a video of him helping a homeless person to get views.
Khabib making him do push-ups.
Yeah, exactly.
For like $5.
But then it's like stuff like that where then it becomes, at the end of the day, you are helping, and I think that that's important. But it's just somehow how people then have their own self-gain from that. Then that's where it somewhat rubs in the wrong way. But I mean, I don't know. That's why I like really respect people that like donate anonymously.
Yeah,
because it's like,
you must respect me. I always donate anonymously, but I don't want I almost don't want people to know I donated.
Yeah, exactly.
But also I don't think it should be about me, and
yeah,
maybe it's bad because I don't share on my page stuff I donate to. Maybe if I did, people would. That's the one thing I thought.
Who knows? I mean, you can go back.
For me, it's more just like, I guess it is partially for the reward in the afterlife, because I think like even if my money doesn't make a difference now, like it's a good thing that I've done that will resonate. That goodness and that good energy or those vibes will resonate into the infinity. You know, so just like good. I think it's just like I mean, one thing I was told with Islam, it's like we're not good because of what goodness, like it's not. We're not good because goodness is the right thing to do. We're good because like by design, that is why the reason why we think it's good is because we were designed to be that way.
Yeah. Oh, I like that.
We're living out our design. Like God has commanded us to be this way, not because like we're not because it's not good for us, because like we are almost machines designed for that. That is like our purpose.
Yes,
that is what our true purpose is in life, and then like by being good, we are like just fulfilling what we like. You know, birds fly, bees build hives, fish do stuff.
Sure.
We're supposed to act this way. That's why it feels good, like because it's the way it's supposed to be. Like,
well, and then that's another whole thing, like with like more Eastern philosophy of that, like frequencies. But then that could be the same thing, right? Like if you're a better person, you function better at a higher frequency, and you get to a higher frequency by doing good things. And
exactly.
So I mean, I don't know. I guess I don't. Maybe it's like I don't prescribe to maybe a God, but I do see the power of the universe and like putting good intentions out there and receiving stuff back. And I don't know. I if not, then I'm like the luckiest person ever. Like super blessed to have everything go the way it has.
Yeah, I mean both can be true.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, you probably are lucky. I think we're both pretty lucky, but
Yeah.
that's a good place to wrap it. I think let's
Yeah.
move on to Neil's got issues. Yeah. You want to read the issue out?
I will.
Can you get through it? No stuttering. No, I'm just kidding.
I might need some
Now
help.
you're gonna stutter, of course, because I said that.
Okay, so this is what Neil texted us.
This is an intent. I read this issue.
Yeah,
this is a.
We've never heard. So every single time Neil's gotten one of his followers, one of the writers messages Neil, and he tells us that on the podcast. So every single time we're hearing it for the first time, and that's just like our off the cuff.
We don't
reaction.
like we don't usually pre-screen these, but because Neil wasn't here, he texted this to us,
Yeah.
so we did kind of read it. But usually you're getting like our live reaction, but I haven't really read it thoroughly. Anyway,
with that, hey guys, I'm just gonna get straight to the point. My boyfriend cheated on me after 7 years of being together.
Oof.
He's never cheated on me before that I know of.
She said that.
Yes.
I know, yeah.
I really still do love him, but I've never ever gonna get over him cheating on me. Do I stay with him or do I end it?
Oof. I mean, I think end it. But I don't know. What do you think?
End it.
End it, right?
Yeah, and because
yeah.
If there's something, or at least for me, it's like there should at least be a mutual respect when you're dating someone, and if you're with them for 7 years, loving someone, and so then it's like, what is going so wrong in our relationship or your life that you feel like you need to go to someone else for a fling, for like a moment in time, especially if you know that that's gonna, like, it's either your partner finds out or you carry around that guilt with you forever, or you're just a horrible person.
Yeah.
Like, and so it just...
I mean, people have reasons, like, let's not just judge everyone with a broad brush, but at the same time, it's, like, pretty disrespectful to your partner.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
Yeah, and so it's like, maybe you're not a bad, irredeemable person, but certainly, like,
no, you can't...
you're acting in a way that's harmful to somebody, and, like, I'm sure this person's upset, which is why they wrote us. Like, if they were cool with it, they would have just not fucking put this for advice on a random podcast.
Yeah.
So clearly it's on their mind, and
they said never going to trust the person again, and so then I think right there's your answer. It's like,
they said they're never going to trust them.
Yeah, if you can't trust, that was the last sentence. It says, "I really still do love him, but I'm never ever gonna get over him. Oh, I'm never ever gonna get over him cheating." But I would take that as like you're never.
Well,
it's always going to be in the back
broken.
in your mind that it could happen again. And like, I don't necessarily think that like once a cheater, always a cheater. I think that people can learn from their mistakes.
Sure.
But also that doesn't mean that you have to be forgiving and learn from his, like, he's going to learn from his mistake by the consequences of you breaking up with him.
Yeah. If you stay with this person, you're setting the expectation. Just look into Yoshi's eyes here because I can't see the camera. Like, you're setting an expectation that this behavior is okay in the relationship, and that you're going to be the one to bear the emotional burden, and you're going to be the one to heal, and you're going to be the one to be forgiving. And that's basically just allowing them to disrespect you, and then you saying that's okay. And like, that's not your fault that you have to make the choice to break up. They made the choice to cheat and to violate the relationship. Yes. And that's on them. It's not you doing anything to them. It's they did something bad to you, and now because of that, how can you go back and basically just pretend everything's okay when you say your trust has been broken? And someone told me this once, which I thought was a really great phrase. He was like, trust is like a mirror. Once it shatters, you can put all the pieces back in place, but it will never be whole again. You'll never be able to like look in the mirror and see and have it be whole. You'll always see those cracks. You'll always see those breaks. And I don't think it's always true. Certainly people can like betray your trust on a small level, and you can be like, yeah, we're still cool. But I can totally say from experience, when someone really truly betrays my trust in a way I'm like, they don't value me or respect me as a person, which is what cheating is if you really think about it. I can't really move beyond that as a person. Maybe I'm just not big enough or emotionally mature enough, but I also think allowing people and setting expectations that it's okay to abuse you and mistreat you, that's just going to set you up for failure down the road. It might not be cheating. It might not be the same thing, but it will be something that will betray that trust. And if you say that's okay, then you can't really blame them for doing that, because you've communicated to them that was all right within the bounds of the relationship.
Yeah, it's like that's a whole like, you gotta respect yourself before you can respect other people. And it's like, well, then do you really respect yourself if you're gonna let someone treat you in such a way, right? Like that's not healthy. And then you would think that then you just would become super resentful, because then you're always thinking about it.
And that's going to make make them into a person they don't like.
Yeah.
A resentful, bitter, paranoid, jealous person, which is not probably who you want to be. And that's that person's actions that have led you to that, line of thinking.
Yeah. And then it just becomes like, so then this drags on for what? Another year, 2 years before then you really realize it. I would say, I don't know if you guys are living together. I don't know. Well, I guess boyfriend. So
7 years too.
7 years is a long time. So probably living together. But then it's just like, I would say, even though it's hard, it's better to just like face the problem from the beginning and just rip the Band-Aid off.
I think so, because it's like the longer I've experienced that, the longer you drag it on, the worse it is. Every time you get together and break up and then decide you want to be together and then break up again, and then they do something to hurt you and you say it's okay, every time it's going to just like take another chunk out of you, take another chunk out of your heart, Yeah. And that's the true scary story, right? It's being trapped in like a relationship that's not nourishing, with a partner who doesn't respect you, being bitter, resentful, and not getting out of your comfort zone, really. Because like there are other people out there who will love you and respect you. No matter who you are, that's the case. So it's not like there's just the one for you. There's a lot of people you could probably be in a healthy relationship with. You have to choose what is okay with you. What kind of relationship do you want? And if you guys have been together 7 years and this is happening, I'm willing to bet there's other stuff going on. And if there's not, maybe it's just you guys don't communicate enough to really understand where each other are at emotionally. But my inkling is that there has been other stuff that's been negative, and this is maybe just another sign. And there'll be another sign. And there'll be another sign. And it's like
because it has to start somewhere, right? And I've heard that before too. It's like it doesn't start off with you having sex with someone. It starts off with you flirting with someone or meeting up, then flirting,
getting a number. You
start backing up, and I mean, I don't know where necessarily I draw the line on like what is considered cheating or not. But I say like, if you wouldn't want your partner to know about that. If it's anything that you would be hiding from your partner, would be something that I would probably
and you can talk about it with your partner. You can say, what are the boundaries of our relationship? I just want to be really clear. Like, I know I can be flirtatious, but I still, in the end of the day, respect you and want to be with you, so that doesn't really mean anything. But if it upsets you, maybe you stop doing. Like, it's all really about communication at that point.
Yeah,
but like,
that's good.
This person, there's so many times they could have, what Will's saying too, is like, there's so many times they could have communicated with you how they were feeling without taking action and cheating. So if they didn't do that, like, my guess is that it's really just a matter of when are you going to realize that either the relationship isn't what you thought it was, or it is what you think it is, and it's not just going to get better. And forgiving them is not going to make it better, because they did a selfish action which had nothing to do with you forgiving them or not.
Yeah.
So you forgiving them or not is not going to change their behavior. Their behavior will change because they want to. And if you truly believe they will and they can, like, I'm sure there's a lot of relationships that have gotten past it. But if you also feel like you can't get over it and you don't feel okay.
I think Jenny in the chat, the epigenetics, I actually really agree with that. What we do does impact our descendants, and what our ancestors did affects us.
Or something. And they shocked the mice every time the smell came around. And then the children, they showed the children the smell, and the children were freaked out by it, even though they weren't shocked.
Yeah. Well, and it even happens with like little stuff, like my mom, she's scared of swimming because my grandma was scared of swimming. And so then it's like this thing just gets passed down, and then, now it's just like part of you.
Phobias get passed down.
Yeah.
Or they even say like past lives.
Well, then trauma. Yeah, I know. I know someone, they had probably their parents had a bad childhood, but then she had a horrible childhood. And then just like, even to this day, like the residual effects on her body are just there. Like it's crazy how much all that stuff kind of, it all matters. Be nice to your kids. Be a good person.
Yeah, it resonates forever. And that's the real spooky story. But yeah, to wrap up the advice thing, I think you should remember, just if you don't remember any of that stuff we said, which you probably thought about yourself, or maybe not, but I would say leave them. End it. Will?
End it. Leave them.
That's the advice. That's our advice to your issue. Man, these issues, every week it seems like they get a little more intense. Someone's going to be like, I killed a man, and I buried the body, and no one ever found it. But it eats me away inside every day, and I've been hearing a heartbeat under my floor. Do you think that I should... Exactly. The police came by my apartment. I don't think they suspected anything, but one of them kept looking at me weird. Do you think I should turn yourself in? And we're going to be like, who is this? Like, please stop watching our podcast and don't come and kill us.
Hopefully, Curran says that the stream is glitching out.
Stream's glitching out. Oh, no.
Excellent connection. Well, who knows? I don't know.
It's a ghost in the machine. Woo! How long have we been going?
Yeah, that's enough.
What do we?
1:10.
11:11.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
let's go another 5 seconds to get that
4,
11, 11, 11.
3, 2, 11, 11, 11. All right, guys. Well, look, I'm gonna walk over here to start the music. Thanks for watching. Season 3, episode 4, live stream, the Who Invited Will live show. Every other word is cut out. We'll have to look at that one on the video. Yeah. Maybe you just need to get better internet, Curran. So anyway.
Thanks, everyone.
Now. Season 3, thanks everyone. Another episode in the books. Season 3, episode 4, Who Invited Will. Peace.
Next week, the talent will be back. Don't worry. Actually, we might not shoot next week.
Oh yeah, I'm out of town.
Jay's out of town, so it might.
We got a week break coming up.
Week break, everyone.
Is it this?
To play us out?
Tell me what you hear. Is it dun, 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 dun?
Not yet. It's levels, though. Is not the one down from there?
No?
I don't hear anything.
Oh, I'm doing the wrong knob.
And it's also not playing. Or is it? Oh, there it is. I hear it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
There it is. Outro music, guys. The production quality is just getting crazy.
Yeah, turn it up. Yeah, a little bit. To play us out. Have a good night. Have a good weekend. Have a good Thanksgiving. Halloween, everyone.